AAMI Park on Wurundjeri land is the setting for this afternoon's clash on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus in the Isuzu Ute A-League. Melbourne City taking on Brisbane Roar. And this afternoon, over 90 minutes, Brisbane will be looking to just sow another seed of doubt in the mind of City Blue. Mind you, history is not on Brisbane's side. Without a win here in 16 matches. They won on their first visit to AAMI Park against what was then Melbourne Heart, but since then it's been 13 defeats and just 3 draws for the Queensland side. As we have a look at Rado Vidosic's Melbourne City, 2 changes then, with Dutchman Richard van der Ven sidelined with a calf strain. That could see a change in formation as Jordy Boss moves from left back to left wing as Scott Jamieson returns in the fullback role, and Callum Talbot also comes in at right back for Nuno Reis, with Matt Leckie out with that hamstring strain, and Raphael on international duty with the young Socceroos. It's Andrew Naboo, Jamie McLaren and Jordy Boss in that front 3. Marco Tilio in midfield, or perhaps as a number 10 behind Jamie McLaren today. While on the bench, 2 debutants, Emile Payos and Patrick Hogan, will be perhaps making their A-League debuts. Well, for Brisbane, Nick Green has made 3 changes, with Jack Hingert missing with illness and Jordan Courtney-Perkins suspended. Scott Neville makes his first start under the new coach, and Noah Smith makes his first start since moving from Melbourne Victory. The other change, Jay O'Shea, who's nursing a broken toe and scored off the bench last week. He starts in the number 10 role as Nikola Mileusnic heads to the bench. Stefan Šćepović is looking for his first goal for Brisbane Roar up front. Plenty of firepower on the bench as well for Brisbane, with Mileusnic and also Carlo Armiento hoping to make his 50th A-League appearance today. Jamie McLaren is the top scorer in this fixture with 9 goals. 5 of them have come from Melbourne City. 4 of them came when he was a Brisbane Roar player. And it is, with 2 losses in their last 3 matches, Melbourne City getting this one underway. If they fail to pick up 3 points today, momentum could swing back in favour of those chasing and looking to deny Melbourne City a 3rd consecutive Premier's plate. Grace Gill joining me in the commentary position for today's clash. Are Brisbane capable of putting the brakes on this City side?
Well, good afternoon to you, Robbie. And a big fixture for a number of reasons there. I think Brisbane are plenty capable in upsetting the top part of the table at this point in the season. For Melbourne City, they'll really be looking to recover from last week's loss to Adelaide.
Melbourne City are the top scorers in the league, as we just saw Jordy Boss charging forward, and it will be interesting to see exactly how they line up, Melbourne City, with those 3 changes. Brisbane, of course, the last side, the only side to keep Melbourne City scoreless this season. Since then, neither City or the Roar have kept a clean sheet in their 6 following matches from that scoreless draw in Brisbane in January. Barisha's ball in, near post. Lofthouse making his 3rd consecutive start, and one who's certainly benefited from the change in coach at Brisbane. Here he is again. Got his first A-League goal last week as well, in that 3-2 loss to MacArthur. You can see Marco Tilio on the right side of the attack.
Well, it will be an interesting one for City this afternoon, how they settle into this side. Of course, Richie van der Ven out there. It's been increasingly important to the attacking play that we see for City, and what he offers in the way, not just goals but assists, work off the ball.
As Jordy Boss accelerates straight through. It's a great run from Jordy Boss. Got it onto the right boot. McLaren was there. And it's a let-off for Brisbane as they come again. Naboo, the cutback towards McLaren. And cleared by Gamulka. Tom Aldred, Brisbane skipper, That's a good ball forward, and Szczepovic, as some glovers caught in no man's land, and it's off the crossbar, and it wouldn't have counted. The flag was up for offside. Here's Boss on the charge against Akbari. He's just so strong, and Akbari once again forced into fouling.
It was an enterprising run from Geordie Boss, but how many times have we seen him do this season? Just eyes up and turns on the burners to push past Akbari, which has been clipped at the heels, but City, instead of sending a ball in, rather they've just to continue to knock it about and try and feel out this Brisbane Roar defence.
Little 1-2, it's nicely done. Jamison for Naboo. And the cross closed down by Kai Truan. Berisha with the arm raised. Whips this one in near post. And Jordan Holmes was a little bit worried there. Seen Carlo Armiento, the Brisbane set-piece specialist, almost score direct from a corner against Adelaide this season. Valon Berisha trying to show him how it's done.
Had plenty of interest behind the whip on this corner. Near post player and Jay O'Shea having to be alert to danger.
Strong from Noah Smith. It was a Melbourne victory for the first half of this season. Melbourne City's arch rivals. Before coming across, or heading north rather, to Brisbane in search of playing time. He gets that opportunity today. Oh, misunderstanding. And O'Neill pouncing on the loose ball. On the charge! What a finish! Well, a misunderstanding in midfield for Brisbane Roar. And Aidan O'Neill was merciless. Picking it up, charging forward. And while we wait to validate that derby goal, this one officially his first ever then for Melbourne City.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, Aidan O'Neill has capitalised on the loose ball in the middle of the park, and that is a ruthless finish. He does really well to just drive into a bit of space. And there's no Brisbane Roar defenders closing him down. Look at the shape. Look at the movement on that ball. That's caught Jordan Holmes completely on his line. What a wonderful strike.
And you wonder why tongues are wagging from as far afield as Europe for this young midfielder. To his list of sporting attributes on the football pitch. Box to box, hard tackler, good passer, good vision, and now goal scorer. As Naboo decides to try one from distance as well, and that fizzes over the crossbar.
Things are really opening up in the centre of the park for Melbourne City.
Andrew Naboo having a word to the referee before quickly pouncing into action. And well, it may have started out life as a cross, but it ended up life as a near shot curling towards that back post.
Well, we've seen the impact that Andrew Naboo has made, both as a starter but also a player off the bench.
Jay O'Shea delivers, back post. Aldred was there. Curtis Good with the clearing header, and now Geordie Boss with the pace. And Scott Neville lunging in. He didn't get much of the ball, but he got away with it. Only just. Henry Hoare keeps it alive. O'Shea. Is there to be some joy late in this first half for Brisbane? Or will they be made to pay as they try and get numbers forward? McLaren, it's well defended by Kai Truan. On the front foot, where they've spent most of the opening 42.5 minutes. Jamison's pass is a good one for McLaren. Improvising with the little flick over the top, and it's a yellow card for Scott Neville, and that's 5 yellow cards for him this season as well. So he having just made it back into the starting 11. We'll be watching from the stands next week as well.
That's clever from McLaren. Again, he's had to look deep to try and pick up the ball.
Berisha it is. It's up over the wall, and it's off the crossbar. Fabulous free kick, and oh so close to his second goal of the season.
Berisha sent to his knees in frustration. He did really well to clear the wall. You see the dip. Wasn't quite enough to sneak under the crossbar. Nonetheless, a quality hit from Berisha. Hands on their head. He knows how close that was.
3 from Melbourne City, none from Brisbane. Brisbane's chronic problems of creating chances haven't been solved immediately by moving Jay O'Shea into that more advanced number 10 role, as McLaren might yet get the chance. Oh, he's gone down, and the referee says penalty. The foul by Kai Truan on Jamie McLaren. Jonathan Barrero had a good hard look at it and then pointed to the spot. And now the league's leading scorer, who's already scored 7 times from the penalty spot this season, has the chance to take his tally to 19 for the campaign. Saved, and the follow-up denied a second time. Naboo. Brilliant keeping from Jordan Holmes. And then Noah Smith with the follow-up, I think. It's a 3rd penalty miss of the season for Jamie McLaren. He's furious with himself. Makes it all the way through. That's half-time in a very entertaining finish to this one. A match, a few chances, but punctuated by some moments of real quality football, starting with Aidan O'Neill's goal in the 22nd minute. Besart Berisha hit the crossbar with a fantastic free kick from distance before Jamie McLaren saw his penalty saved by Jordan Holmes. And Brisbane, despite being dominated from start to finish in that first half, are right in this contest. At AAMI Park, it's Melbourne City 1, Brisbane Roar 0. Now City have 4 players high up on the left wing to get this second half underway. There it goes into that part of the field, but delivery doesn't come off. Glover picks it up at the start of this second half. Great skill in commentary. Melbourne City just the 1 goal to show for an utter domination of the first 45 minutes.
Utter domination indeed. All the possession, all the touches, the final third entries, and a great deal to show for it. And I'm sure that would have been part of the conversation at half-time with Rado Vidicic about how they break down a really resilient Brisbane Roar defence.
0 touches in the opposition box for Brisbane. Oh, Jamison's pass is brilliant for Geordie Boss. Very well defended by Scott Neville. He was on a yellow card. It had to be perfectly timed, and it was. With O'Shea, Gamulka. That's a great ball. Down the left-hand side for Noah Smith again. He looks up and crosses. Oh, and it almost found Stefan Šćepović. Very well defended by Curtis Good.
It had to be too. Noah Smith, who started this second half really brightly. He's getting his eyes up, looking forward, and that early ball, if not for the intervention, that leg in looked a certain thing for Brisbane.
Lofthouse gets there and gets it wide for Hoare. Into the area against Geordie Boss. He's done well. Then the cross, guess who? Aidan O'Neill. They're doing the defending. Berisha again. Just the foot in by Lofthouse. Now Naboo. As Aldred shepherds it back to his keeper. And Brisbane Roar, here he is, looking to close down Glover. Hits it first time, bouncing ball, not an easy one for the keeper to negotiate. And now the break might be on. Tilio on the charge. Geordie Boss. Oh, lovely quick feed again to the edge of the area. Berisha hits it and skies it over the bar when he really should have done better.
Well, that had a little bit more ferocity about it, a bit more fever. It was a great run yet again by Geordie Boss. So lively down this side and has to cut it in. It's a beautiful centering pass to Berisha, and he just can't get his chest over the ball. It's got to be on target. It's got to ask a save of Jordan Holmes there. He did have incoming pressure at a rate of knots all around him, but nonetheless a good build-up by City.
Boss for Tilio. Berisha again. Lamb decides to try and wind up from distance. Can't hit the target. Would have taken something pretty special as well to beat Jordan Holmes from there. That's a nice little reverse pass from Talbot for Naboo. Down to the byline. The cross towards Tilio. Well, he's not the tallest, Marco Tilio, and that one just glanced off the top of his head. Jamison back with Boss. Bit of renewed impetus from City going forward. Just a couple of minutes away from starting the final quarter of this football match. It's still 1-0. Still City have been unable to put this one to bed. Good run from Talbot. In behind. McLaren wants it. The cutback for O'Neill. Tilio with it. Brilliant, desperate block from Kai Truen. Throwing himself at the ball. O'Neill. Jamison. A foot in there by Akbari. A little bit of payback. The referee allows it to continue. Mileusnic for O'Shea. Now Lofthouse taking on Talbot. Lofthouse goes down and the referee says penalty. And how about that? A lesson in staying in a contest, weathering storms until fairer weather presents itself. And Jez Lofthouse has won a penalty here for Brisbane. O'Shea against Glover. This for Brisbane Roar, and they score. And chalk this one up to determination and commitment, and perhaps just a little slice of good fortune. Well played, Jez Lofthouse, who has seized his opportunity in the starting lineup, and Jay O'Shea for keeping his cool. Berisha outside for O'Neill, trying to go past Truen. Corner. Berisha with the corner. The header, and it's in! And it's Aidan O'Neill. Well, a man of few goals. Today, he has a brace. And Melbourne City have taken a huge step towards getting back to winning ways.
Of course, to celebrate, that's a delightful corner on the Harvey Norman replay. The header, divine. Timing there is perfect. And Aidan O'Neill, what an afternoon he has had. He's done really well. Just a step back of his player. And a glancing header into the far post. You have to say a well-deserved goal for Melbourne City in what has been a dominant performance this afternoon.
A 10th goal from a corner for Melbourne City, who work on that, and you can see how the bench enjoyed it. Well, he doesn't give much away. Rado Vidicic, famously. As here goes O'Neill again, and look at the power. It has been a player of the match performance Well, you'd have to say it's almost unanimous across the board. He has been everywhere, defensively, in attack. Neville and Brisbane, perhaps. There's Mile Usnic on the left foot, trying to stun City a second time. Jez Lofthouse. When you talk about tireless, his high energy running is the one that clawed Brisbane back into the game. Smith wide, cross comes in, Smith again, and then volleyed back in by Mile Usnic. Reflex stop from Glover. Brisbane go long. Comfortable for Glover. The 6 minutes of stoppage time are up. The referee says that's enough. And Melbourne City did it the hard way, but they get back to winning ways. Aidan O'Neill the hero, as it's 150 A-League victories for the City Blue of Melbourne. And Brisbane's barren run at AAMI Park against Melbourne City continues. It's now 17 matches without a win, 13 years back to that one and only victory here. They defended valiantly, but in the end, if you can't create goal-scoring opportunities, you're always going to struggle. And in the end, it was an unlikely source, but few would deny Aidan O'Neill his moment in the sun. Goals in the 22nd and 88th minute, either side of Jay O'Shea's penalty for Brisbane Roar. It's finished here in Melbourne. City 2, Roar 1.